So, while everybody's been enjoying themselves and living it up in their enclaves, the rest of us are dealing with some really big problems, and I'm going to talk about them here because it's just continuing to get worse. The crime, particularly in the city, and the latest incident actually involved a nice bus. And obviously, we have to talk about it, especially because the media hasn't. I'm gonna first go to the article from 1010 Wins right here. It says three shootings in daylight, man in critical condition, two women injured in rush hour shootings across New York City. This happened today, and you see there's a nice bus involved in this. That's right. You'll see there it was on the N24. So three shootings occurred in less than 2 hours of one another during the late afternoon on Thursday, and incidents in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx left a man in critical condition and two women injured. There was another shooting on the subway again. Two men got into a scuffle, apparently, and a gun was pulled, and somebody was shot, and a gun, and again, bag check didn't stop that, right? No, it didn't. And then this is the other incident that happened on the nice bus that I want to talk about. Uh, there was a shooting in Hollis, Queens that left a 19-year-old woman with a gunshot wound to the hip. At around 5:38 p.m., this is the middle of rush hour at Francis Lewis Blvd and Jamaica Avenue. The victim was shot once by an unknown male after a dispute. It doesn't mention the nice bus in this article here, but the woman was transported to Jamaica Hospital Medical Center in stable conditions, and officials said the suspect fled southbound on Francis Lewis Boulevard on foot. The relationship between the shooter and the victim is unclear, as is the dispute that preceded the attack. And the final shooting occurred at 6:17 p.m. at 971 Kelly Street, located on the Long Run section of the Bronx. And it happened in a residential building near the Hispanic AIDS Forum, Inc., a social services organization in the neighborhood. An unknown man shot a woman, 30s, once in the buttocks. She is in stable condition. So no arrests have been made in the Queens and Brooklyn and in the Queens and Bronx shootings. Not a whole lot on this shooting that happened, and I'm really outraged that this was barely covered by the media. They don't even have a video on Eyewitness News about this. They don't even have a video about this. It's not just News12. It's all the media. It happened in Hollis, Queens. Of course, it's middle of the island. It's going to be forgotten. The victim was getting off a nice bus around 6:20 p.m. at Jamaica Avenue near 205th Street. So this is giving me different information here. It's at Francis Lewis. This one's saying 205th Street, where she was shot one time in the hip. Police sources say the 19-year-old may have been involved in a dispute aboard the bus. So there was a dispute on the bus. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound familiar to you? Remember that dispute that I had on the bus? Thank God I wasn't seriously hurt. Because, again, this happened, and did anyone get involved? No one got involved. Again. It's getting dangerous to take public transportation in New York. All right? So you can see it was a Gillig. I think it was 2108. You can see they got the orange triangles out because I guess they're doing an investigation on the bus. I don't know if the bus was hit by gunfire or not. But let's go to the map. And so 208th Street and Jamaica Avenue. So this is Jamaica Avenue over here. 208th Street. Yes, right by Francis Lewis. So probably this bus stop right here is where it happened. And this is a neighborhood that's in some serious decline. Very dangerous area. I wouldn't feel safe riding the bus through here. I used to do it years ago, but now forget it. It's really really dangerous over here. You can see there's some nice buses here. One of them's probably the N6. Just says nice on it. And then there's another one here. But whatever the case is, this is a neighborhood that's in some bad decline. And I can tell you when I'm riding the train, I see that there are homeless people camped out along the road here because the train tracks go right along here. There's the train tracks right there. And I'm going to tell you about an experience that I had when I was on the train, actually. This was not mentioned on the LARR's Twitter. But I'll tell you that when yesterday, not today, but yesterday I took the train and I went through Jamaica. And I don't feel safe even going through Jamaica anymore taking the train because there was an incident involving something. All I know is a Huntington train pulled in, and like 10 or 15 MTA police officers got onto the track at, this was around, I guess, 4:25, and 10 to 50, they started running toward, and then they said, code 7, or signal 7, 8th car on that Huntington train. And I don't know what happened. We never heard about what happened. But it might have been some kind of a crime going on, because they had a lot of cops, but we never heard about it. I mean, we're only hearing a fraction of what's going on from the media right now. The media is involved in trying to sugarcoat this. A lot of people saying the media is alarmist. No, they're actually trying to sugarcoat it because they're not really covering this enough. All right? So there was some kind of incident that happened at Jamaica yesterday on the railroad. I don't know what happened. There was nothing on the Twitter about it, and nothing from anyone about it. So, again, it's getting dangerous to take public transportation, especially in New York City. And the fact that this happened on a nice bus means that News 12 should have reported it. But did they report on it? No, they did not report on it. Instead, they're spending a lot of time on the South Shore and not really covering crime properly. They did cover some crime here. It looks like they covered this. They covered this one here. But a lot of, who cares about this? Cedarhurst community upset about seawall around Lawrence. I'm not even going to play that. It's a waste of time. Barely any crime here. They should be covering this. But why are they not? They're not covering it. I'll go to the crime thing here. Crime. Man wanted for stealing package. Only 16 seconds. No, but they spent 2 minutes on the body parts case because it affected the South Shore and the snobs there. So, of course, it's going to affect them because it's all about those people. The rest of us don't matter. So, and then, it's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. And some of the crime spilling over to the South Shore, of course. So, yeah, this was barely covered. CBS New York, let's see if they covered it at all. Youth stabbing, slashings up by 48%. Man stabbed in hand at Bronx subway station. Where's the crime here? I don't see anything about. All right, rioters after shots ring out on here. So they do cover this latest subway shooting on a subway platform, and this happened in the middle of the afternoon. All right, the middle of the afternoon it happened. It's unbelievable. Go to Spectrum here. All right, they are covering that. At least Spectrum's covering that. They're leading with that. But again, the whole thing that happened in Queens is like completely forgotten. It's like I noticed crime in Queens just seems to be completely forgotten. Isn't there another place called Queens Tribune or something like that? I don't know. Another article, I guess it's not around. Was it free? There is no more. Or it's QNS.com now. Okay. QNS.com. Maybe that's the Queens news site. Let's see. Are they talking about this latest thing? All right. This is from AM New York. So here's the latest here again about this shooting that happened on the bus. And I'm going to talk about this because it involved a nice bus. All right. Woman shot in Queens after apparent argument on the bus. And obviously, it says, according to police officers from the 105th Precinct rushed to the corner of Francis Lewis Blvd on Jamaica Avenue in Hollis after reports that a 19-year-old woman had been shot around 5:40 p.m. on March 14th. EMS rushed the victim to Jamaica Hospital, where she's expected to survive. And it says, according to sources familiar with the investigation, the victim and the shooter were apparently seen arguing aboard the Q110 bus several minutes earlier when they left the vehicle and apparently continued the dispute, leading to the gunfire. So, were they getting off a nice bus, or I'm not sure exactly what exactly happened here. It sounds like maybe they were, cops report that the suspected shooter, a man in his 20s, fled the scene southbound. So was it on a nice bus? Was it on we're not even getting a straight story here on what happened. Was it on the nice bus? Were they on both buses? We're not sure here. They were on the Q110 or were they on the nice bus? That's the question. So we don't know here. Again, if we look at the bus stop that was involved in this incident here, I'll tell you this. After this, I'm definitely not riding the bus anymore into Queens. I haven't done it for a while. I definitely won't. It's not fair because if I got to travel toward the city westbound, now I got to pay a ridiculous peak fare, which is, actually ridiculous. So what happened here, let's see. Q110, it says Q110 stops there. So I don't know. It's not saying nice bus stops at this bus stop. Yeah, but this is the way the 24 goes. So, yeah. I'm not sure, and hopefully we'll have some more information, but shame on the media for not covering this properly. It's absolutely ridiculous. And here's another story that wasn't covered properly. In fact, South Shore 12 never covered this at all. This was posted by the Nassau County Police Department, and that there were three men from Newark, New Jersey, were arrested for a burglary that occurred on Saturday, January 13, 2024, 2:50 a.m. at Lake Success. All right, so this is an update here, all right? So the police officers responded to residents located at Meadowwoods Road for an attempted burglary. While en route to the scene, a Lake Success RMP was involved in a collision with a blue 2021 BMW sedan that was fleeing the scene of the incident. The three subjects exited the car and fled on foot. A canvass was conducted with the assistance of Nassau County Police Department, which resulted in the three subjects being located and placed under arrest without further incident. During the investigation, it was discovered that the three subjects had also attempted to commit a burglary at a residence located at Fox Lane immediately prior to the incident, and a loaded Glock 19 that was modified to be fully automatic was located inside the blue 2021 BMW. And I remember this. South Shore 12, when it happened, they barely covered it. And it's listing the arrest of those, but there was another arrest, and this is what the update is. Defendant Fazon Farrington of Littleton Street in Newark was also arrested as well. He's being charged for multiple other burglaries and larcenies at the following locations, and of course the majority of them are in the middle of the island. Attempted burglary, Lake Drive, Neuheit Park. Burglary, Magnolia Drive, Franklin Square. Burglary, Church Street, Syosset. Burglary on Seville Road in Mineola. A burglary on Falmouth Avenue in North Neuheit Park. And then there are a few on the South Shore, Stewart Road, Valley Stream, and a burglary on Park Lane in Woodmere. So these guys are under arrest, and hopefully they not let out. It doesn't say that they were let out, but again, News 12 just barely covering any of this. I mean, really, man faces charge for assaulting an officer 25 seconds, North Lawrence, which is by Inwood. That's not a really safe area. And then there was attempted robbery in Cedarhurst. Again, this is on the South Shore, but I don't know, Five Towns area of the South Shore is starting to have some crime spilling over, and it's because it's next to the city. So it says the 68-year-old victim was walking away from his car on Bayview Avenue when three subjects approached him and demanded his keys on Monday night. When he refused, police say a female suspect began to strike him in the back of the head. All three suspects are then fled the scene, and these are the people that are on the loose right now. Barely covered, 28 seconds. I mean, what a joke. They should be covering this more. This happened in Bayview Avenue in Cedarhurst. So, Cedarhurst, which is on the South Shore. Let's see if we could find Bayview Avenue in Cedarhurst. I know Cedarhurst has some... All right, there is a Cedarhurst here. Okay, all right. It's over here, Bayview Avenue. It's not considered a bad area at all. I don't think this is considered a bad area. It's kind of surprising. But maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't look like it's all that... Well, I don't know. I would consider this a decent area. So whatever the case is, the problems for Inwood are maybe starting to bleed into Cedarhurst. But again, the Five Towns, if you look at where the Five Towns is located, it's actually practically in Queens, and I think this is what the problem the Five Towns is going through right now. This is something to be concerned about, I guess. But again, they still barely covered it. It's like even when it happens in the South Shore, sometimes they don't cover it. It's like they just spend too much time on these stories that are political, too much time on the... I don't think they even covered. There was a fight in the Dix Hills library, too. They barely covered that as well. I don't even see it on the damn website here. Where is it? There was a fight in a library in Dix Hills. They don't even have it here. They don't even have it here. All right, I'm going to have to Google it. Here we go. So, again, only 35 seconds. Happened at the Half Hollow Hills Community Library. If you go into the library, you can't even avoid crime. Teenagers got into a brawl. Happened 3:30 p.m. and involved 6 teenagers. And then they left before the officers arrived. The library is located across the street from the Half Hollows East High School. So, again, public library, you think that things like this would not happen in a public library. But think again. Think again, because it's the middle of the island, so, this is what goes on. It's the middle of the island. And then it just goes on with going on again. So this one says getting off a nice bus. I think she was getting off a nice bus when she was shot. So maybe there was a dispute aboard the bus. Was it on the nice bus? Was it on the Q110? I don't see a city bus stopped here. I see a nice bus stopped here. So I'm thinking that it happened on the nice bus. Because if it happened on the Q110, then we'd see the Q110 parked here. Unless maybe the bus broke down after the incident. I don't know. You never know with nice bus. I see they got orange triangles out. I'm thinking more that's it's just unbelievable. And again, harrowing ordeal. Shots ring out on the subway platform. Of course, there's an ad here, so I'm just going to mute this. But, I mean, it's unbelievable what's going on. It really is unbelievable what's going on in the city. And it's just getting real out of control. It really is. So let's put the sound back on.
Johnson, we begin with that subway shooting that had commuters ducking for cover and then running for their lives.
And bag checks, right? They're not going to do a damn thing to stop this. Stop the bag checks. Just, I'm asking the mayor and the governor, just don't waste time on the bag checks. You need to be arresting the people that are causing problems in the system. That's what you need to be doing, all right? The police are just standing around, checking people's bags. It's not going to make anyone safer. They need to be in the system, riding the trains, and stopping and removing people that are causing problems.
Tonight, a man is in the hospital with critical injuries.
The gunfire broke out as the train arrived at the Hoyt Skirmerhorn station in downtown Brooklyn. CBS 2's Lori Bordenaro there now with what else we know tonight. Lori.
And Maurice and Christine, that victim still in critical condition tonight. Witnesses tell us they feared for their lives. Some of them huddled together crying as those shots were fired.
This is a busy area.
This passenger screaming for her life moments before shots were fired on the northbound A train. Nearly getting trampled by terrified riders.
I don't think I was going to make it back home.
This all started just before 5 o'clock at the start of rush hour. Police say a 36-year-old man on the train aggressively approached a 32-year-old man. They say the two started arguing and then physically fighting, causing a commotion. You can see some passengers trying to step in.
I can see a lot of people backs, and they look like in the direction like they blocking the glass.
Police say as they approached the Hoyt Skirmerhorn station, the 36-year-old man then pulled out a knife or razor and then a gun. But the other passenger grabbed it from him and shot him.
So let me guess, he didn't have a bag, right? He just had it in his pocket or jacket, right? This is what I mean. It's stupid. This is so stupid what's going on with these bag checks. Governor Hochul and Eric Adams, I'm actually demanding you drop these bag checks immediately because it's not doing a damn thing. If anything, I think the crime's getting worse since this all started. It's actually getting even worse.
In the head.
The train slows down to like it's about to stop, and then I hear the shots, like 3 or 4 shots, pow, pow, pow.
Everybody was just running. People were falling down and trying to get out the station.
The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police cordoned off the station, disrupting service during the evening rush. The head of the MTA condemning this latest in a string of gun violence underground.
Yeah.
The real victims are the people I saw in those videos who are having a harrowing time because they're on a train with somebody with a gun. They're just trying to go about their lives. So get rid of the guns.
Get rid of the guns now, right? And, again, the guns are the enemy. The guns, whatever. You're missing the point, Jano. We got to get rid of the bums, Jano. Get rid of the bums. The dangerous people that are riding the system that should be in jail right now instead of terrorizing innocent New Yorkers.
And police say they did respond within seconds. The man who fired the gun has been taken into custody. It's not clear if he'll be charged or if he was acting in self-defense. We're live in downtown Brooklyn tonight. Lori Bordenero, CBS 2 News.
Lori, thank you. And we're going to stay on top of this developing story and bring you updates online and tomorrow on CBS 2 News this morning, starting at 4:30 a.m.
So, it's unbelievable, right? It's just unbelievable what's going on. We go to 10-10 wins here. Another subway attack. This one wasn't even covered. A woman punched in face. Say, oh, we got to get rid of the guns, right? We got to check the people's bags, right? Like that's going to do anything. Woman punched in the face, unprovoked at Yankee Stadium subway station. Probably another unstable bum that's roaming around. You got to get these bums. You got to get the police in there. You got to take these bums off the system. Tell them that you're either going to get help, you're going to go into a supervised housing setting, or you're going to be in jail. But you can't be riding the subway and terrorizing innocent people. So this is the latest thing. It says police on Thursday released a photo of a man wanted for punching a woman in the face in an unprovoked attack at the Yankee Stadium last week. It happened at approximately 6 p.m. on Sunday, March 10th, while on board a northbound D train approaching 161st Street, Yankee Stadium. 6 p.m. This is, again, supposed to be a busy time. According to officials, a 36-year-old woman was approached by the subject, who then punched numerous times in the face before fleeing on foot to parts unknown. The woman detained at 161st Street, Yankee Stadium, and refused medical treatment. So I guess it wasn't too serious, but again, you have all these crazy people. It's like the Ghostbusters movie when they let all the demons and the ghosts out of the vault. This is what's happened in New York City. This is what's going on here. This is what's going on. Here's a robbery here, middle of the day. Again, does this person looks like they're up to no good. This is exactly what I mean. Why aren't they removing these people from the streets? This guy probably has a lengthy criminal record. A man was punched in the face and robbed in midday Brooklyn. This happened in Brooklyn last month. 1276 Fulton Street in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I know that's not the safest area. The victim was attempting to purchase food when the suspect proceeded to repeatedly punch the victim in the face and take $120 from him. So, again, I have his picture. This is somebody who looks like they're up to no good, swagger walking around. You know, this is what you see also in the middle of the island. You know, we're in a community with people like that. Nobody wants to be in a community with people like that. Nobody. Businesses don't want to be there. People don't want to be there. Nobody wants to be there. Right? So that's why you have businesses fleeing the city. Right? Hochul is like saying, oh, we have a 40 film. You know, Hochul is, this is all theater from the governor. Because this is all theater. It's all theater. She's not doing anything about the crime. We have another thing here. A man lied about a carjacking. He falsely reported it. So this guy reported that he was carjacked in East Meadow when he wasn't. So I don't think News 12 covered that either. So you see there's a lot of stuff that News 12 just isn't covering. And they did cover these two things, of course. This also got barely covered. Bus driver arrested for sexually assaulting somebody. And this was a Suffolk Transportation bus driver. Miguel Enrique Diaz, Suffolk Transportation bus driver for the Bayshore Middle School and Brook Elementary School. And police are accusing him with sexually abusing a girl who's now 13 years old multiple times between May 2022 and October 2023. Diaz, 47, of Bayshore, was arrested at his home on Wednesday. His family told News 12 that they do not believe the allegations. Executive Vice President of Suffolk Transportation Services, Tim McAteer, says Diaz has a clean criminal record. When he was hired, it did not start working in Bayshore within the Bayshore schools until September 23. Bail was set at $1 million. He's also suspended without pay. So We don't know exactly the whole story here, but again, a 47-second story. They did interview some people, so they actually did cover this.
He's a dad. He provides for his family. And we will stand firm because we know who he is, and he would never in a million years do this. He protects us.
He may be being falsely accused. It's possible. It's possible he may be being falsely accused. They'll have to see what kind of evidence they have. I don't know if they have cameras on the buses for this. But the other story involves this, which they covered, involving a daycare employee arrested for sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in Brentwood. So we'll play this one for you, and it says here that Brentwood. That's
Allegations of sexual abuse at a Brentwood daycare. The man charged is the owner's husband. News 12's John Dowding spoke with those who live nearby.
¿Tienes algo para decir a nosotros? Reynaldo Estrada didn't take questions from News 12 after he made bail and was released this afternoon. Police say the 62-year-old sexually abused a 10-year-old child who was in his care twice in 2020.
It's something incredible to believe because I've known them for a long time.
Little Lamb ABC Daycare is run out of this home on Vanderbilt Avenue in Brentwood. It's owned by Estrada's wife, and he works there. Neighbors say they're shocked.
The woman is always caring for the kids inside. She never walks outside when the kids are there.
Police say the child who reported the incidents is now 13 years old. They say she came forward following another incident of alleged abuse by Estrada that police say happened earlier this month. And detectives say there may be more victims.
This is every parent's nightmare.
Victims advocates say parents should create a safe space for their children to speak up if they ever feel unsafe.
Always encourage a dialogue about that these are your bathing suit areas. No one is allowed to come into those areas of your body. And if they do, you need to let me know.
A judge also issued a temporary order of protection, and we spoke with Estrada's attorney. He told us that Estrada is a family man, a father, and he would never...
All right, so they actually have stuff in here. The daycare received violations from the state as well. So not conducting evacuation drills. So it doesn't seem like things are on the up and up in that place. But again, this is what life is in the middle of the island. This is what happens, especially in communities of color. Again, there's a little world for the lily white people where everything's peachy keen, and a world for everybody else, especially people of color that have to deal with these problems in their community. It's very unfair. It really is what's happened. So I think, again, 16 seconds on this. It's just ridiculous. You know, it's like certain things they just choose to pick and cover, and then certain things they just don't care about, you know? And... you know, it's ridiculous, you know? It really is. And we all know that body parts case, if it happened in the middle of the island, we know it would have barely been covered. Again, Nassau, man wanted for sexually abusing a child in Bethpage. Another incident to this. Another one. Elvin Ocampo is wanted by the Nassau County Police. Barely covered this. Again, just like the body parts in Bethpage. That was barely covered because it's the middle of the island. At least they covered the Brentwood situation, but again, it's ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. At least they covered this one properly, too. 3 men attacked with baseball bat by 7 men in Smithtown. Suspects wanted for... I mean, there's just so much crime going on. It's just unbelievable. And then 5 teens accused of burglarizing a Bayport apartment. I mean, some things happen on the South Shore. When they do, they're usually covered. But it's in the middle of the island. I mean, I'm sorry, but they should have covered, you know, the woman attacked on the bus because that happened on a nice bus. And they should have covered this here, these arrests. Again, they barely covered this. This is a big deal, man. You know, this is what we have to deal with in the middle of the island. This is what we have to deal with. You got to wonder why. You scratch your head and say, well, this is why nobody wants to be here. I mean, this is why nobody wants to be here, because it's not safe. There's nothing going on. It's dead. People don't want to be here. This is what's going on, and the city is going to turn into this too. It's all part of the bigger picture, which is to drive us out. You know, we get to deal with no life while only the preppy, lily white professionals in their enclave get to be safe. But those of us who aren't allowed to be there or can't afford to live there, sorry, you're going to have to deal with the quality of life that goes down the toilet or wind up going somewhere else, which is that somewhere else, which we all know is a place that they want to force us to, you know, because you know, we're not a certain demographic. Sorry, you're going to have to go to that other place instead, because only a certain demographic matters around here. And that's what we're fighting up against as the fight continues against this corruption. But yeah, this governor, Hochul does not care. You know, this is all theater, man. It's all theater. That's all it is theater. Because we all know the solution. We all know the solution that there is to the problem. And the solution is that we've got to repeal bail reform. We've got to get dangerous people off the street. Look at that. NYC has lost 546. And New York City's dying. All right? We've got to get dangerous people off the streets. All right? Yeah, another incident here in the city. I mean, you have people that are committing crime that just keep getting released. You've got to keep them behind bars. You know, repeal bail reform. The police need to go into the transit system and remove people who are causing problems. Homeless, whatever. Anyone who's not there to ride the system. All right? People who are just hanging out there all day, they need to be out. That's it. This includes the Long Island Railroad. This includes the New York City subway system. This includes our buses. The people who are problems, and I see it when I ride the bus too, they shouldn't be allowed to ride the system. It's that simple. Take them out of the system and tell them, look, you're either going to get help or you're going to be in jail. You can't be out on the streets anymore causing problems anymore. All right? That's solution number one. Solution number two, we got to get all these illegals out of here because, you know, they're committing crime too. All right? That's the other thing we got to do. But, again, the governor doesn't really want to do that. She's just doing all this political theater when the solution is really right in front of you. It's not about the guns. It's not about the knives. It's not about searching people's bags. It's about putting dangerous people behind bars where they belong. It's that simple. With that, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching.